my mind's free. My mind's free. Yeah, yeah. 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 I'd also strongly advise that you listen to this in context with the rest of the track as well, of course, because in terms of tonality and what you want from the vocal, it's relative to the rest of the mix, of course. While we're looking at some of the possibilities in Waves Sound Grid, which is just one example of some third-party plugin that you can have, plugins that you can have running with this, with these entry-level price point consoles. For example, we've got the SQ series of consoles in front of us now. Would be that with our bass before, the high drive preamp reminded me of this, that actually that's the bass DI. There is no bass mic tracked in this live recording for whatever reason. Is there something that we can do to give us a bit of that cab emulation? Well, at the time of recording, and so far as I'm aware, there's nothing directly from Allen and Heath that can be inserted into the effects rack that is amplifier emulation, cab emulation for bass. However, I am aware of something in Waves that I use quite often to achieve a mic sound near that bass instrument, and I can use that as a second channel on the console and balance between the two. Here's how you would set that up then. So on the console, I'm going to select the bass channel, and then I'm going to remove this insert actually. So if we remove the multiband compressor from Allen and Heath away, because you can only have one insert on this one insert point, so do that and just switch it off for a moment. And now on processing, go to the insert point and go I/O port. I said earlier actually I would show you where on multi-rack sound grid you choose the inputs, and how did I know that it was I/O port 14 for the lead vocal before? Well, because if you click here you get the input, and it was input 14. It was already set to input 14, and it returned out of Waves output 14. So mono in, mono out, insert. You can see the number there, hopefully. It's also rack 14, and I should point that out as well. I mentioned this in class, that I favour having the same rack number as the input and output number for the Waves stream, because then I don't get so confused with what input is routed to what rack slot. So we've talked about the vocal. I can zoom out. So to zoom in, you just double click on a rack, and then if you want to go to any plugin within that rack, you click on the plugin. To zoom back out, you click that. So I'm going to go to the bass. So my template has a bass set up. Bass DI here. And behold, it's already got a guitar amp emulation on it. So let's run the bass through it and see what we get. So it's a bass DI. Having a bass mic on stage oftentimes can be a quite loose sound, because we get a lot of low end coming back from the main PA system, and a lot of low end rumble on the stage anyway. So mics on bass cabs can work out for live. Not always though, but if you want some of that character back that you don't get on some DIs, especially just like a clean DI, not out of a head, not post EQ, just a DI as in bass goes into a DI box, and then you link out of the DI box and go into someone's cab, but you don't mic the cab, or maybe there's no cab at all. Then you can use these emulators, and this is one way of doing it with the SQ console if you have SoundGrid. So I'm going to go to IO port 11. That's your ingoing, and your outgoing is going to be 11 also. Switch it on. And now I'm going to go back over to mics down. And what you might want to do is use, like if it was a real mic on the bass, you might want to do a blend of the mic and the DI. Be aware that there's going to be some latency difference here. There's going to be more time on the path that goes out to waves and comes back from waves. That could work out. It could not be a problem in terms of sound quality, but then again, it might be. So you could add a channel delay as well on the DI to improve the way that they are offset in terms of phase around key bass fundamental frequency. But that would be trial and improvement. But let's find out. So the way I would do that on the desk is to duplicate my bass channel. And here's how I would do that. So I would probably be tempted to rearrange my desk. I'm going to utilize an available channel up here. I would typically look to rearrange my desk so that the bass is next to the bass mic. Emulated mic is next to the bass dry channel, the DI, but I would do that in planning for the production. For the purpose of this demonstration right now, and when I say planning, I would write it into the channel list, like in advance. But for this demonstration now, I'm going to use this available channel. So I'm going to press View to see what channel the bass is on. It's on USB input 10. So the bass is on USB input 10. So this available channel, top block. Well, I could give it a name. I suppose it's color purple for me. Bass. It's not bass mic, but emulation of that. USB 10. There it is. Now, where we were going to go next is we were going to have, this is the bass DI, and there shalt be no processing on that for now. So I've taken it out of the wave circuit. Then I'm going to select the, get out of there, whatever. I'm going to go to bass mic, and then go into that. Well done, me. And then I'm going to go IO port number 11. And it says it's already patched somewhere else, but that's fine. It's going to overwrite what was already patched. I've got it. Okay. And I can see signal in SoundGrid. That's coming from this channel. This bass mic. So now we could do a blend of the two. See how that sounds? Apply a short time delay if required. I'm going to move over to no mic. Mic's down. So definitely not a mixed demonstration, not intended to be a mixed demonstration, a full mixed demonstration. This particular short series of videos, more some options available to further your scope to bring under control moving targets, live recordings that move around quite a lot because of the nature of how we mic up in live, mostly the challenge in live. That's really why we need some of these additional, why we might look at use of some of these additional processors. And also, if we have a limited patch and we don't have a mic on the bass, for example, or we just have a clean signal from a guitar and we want to drive that through something that sounds like a cabinet, then we can do that. And in this case, we looked at the setup of that with Waves. Just a final point on that, especially in the age where there is a lot of effort going on in some live sound circles to make stages quieter. Things like Kemper Profile, getting amplifiers off stage, trying to reduce level on stage is a bit of a trend, particularly in small to medium-sized venues where the backline can be really overpowering. If that is what you're looking to do, reduce stage level, then there are some options available. But with this particular SQ console, those options are going to be outside of the console. You're going to have to bring something third-party in. And in this case, we've demonstrated Waves Sound Grid Impact Server.